What's up, guys? It's your boy on wheels, CT Barry, coming at you live from Syracuse with another video where we talk about the world of pro wrestling and whatever else I decide to throw in here. If you want to know what that sound is, that's my air fryer. I'm making my dinner at 11:39 p.m. Don't judge, I had a long nap until 10. I know, I live a weird, outlandish life. But, so, anywho, let's get in to the pro wrestling talk. Let's start with TWA. Where are we? So, Saturday the 4th, they had their Champions Ball, which is like their equivalent to WrestleMania, Bound for Glory, whatever. We saw an outstanding ladder match between the Pattersons, which was supposed to be them versus the Mayhem Mafia, but Mayhem Mafia couldn't make it to the event for whatever reason, so the world's biggest jerk-offs, Alexander Crowley and Draven Post, took their place and got their asses beat in front of the whole town of New Haven, West Virginia, and it was fantastic. So the Pattersons retained their titles in the first ever TWA ladder match, and then earlier Crowley faced his scheduled opponent of Chuck Chronic, and with the help of Draven Post, his little bat or cane or whatever the hell he had with him that night, was able to pick up a cheap win over Chuck Chronic. But it's all good. As I mentioned, him and Draven got their asses beat in the ladder match, so everyone in New Haven was happy about that. So then we had Blackhawk, TWA newcomer, versus guy that's been there for a while, Renegade Rick Rogers. Back and forth match. Ultimately, Rick Rogers was able to hit his trademark cutter for the win over Blackhawk. I'm very look forward to see what these two guys' future in TWA looks like. Very, very bright. And two very nice guys, quite frankly. I had a chance to talk to them both during the show. Really awesome dudes. And so then we had, I gotta think, it's been a while. We had the TWA Legacy Championship match. Zayden Kane finally getting his long-awaited match against Vane Lewis for the TWA Legacy title. After a couple shows of Vane Lewis, saying he was hurt or he just didn't show up, we finally got that match, and Zayden Kane was able to walk away with the TWA Legacy title to add to his belt collection. He does have a couple belts from a couple other independent promotions, and so I was very, very happy to see Zayden win the belt. I think he will be an awesome Legacy champion, and I think he's got a future world title run in him as well. One of the best bright stars of TWA's future, as well as a guy who has made his name all over Appalachia wrestling and continues to hone his craft and just get better and better and better. I look forward to seeing him on the big stage someday. And then we had our TWA championship match. Actually, let me backtrack. We had the number one contenders match between Connor Cross, Michael Saint, and the Rogue Joshua Charles. The Rogue Joshua Charles was able to come out with the win, and he will take on the TWA champion at TWA Stormfront on April 1st, WrestleMania weekend. And that was a really back and forth match. I was pulling for Michael Saint. He's a local guy. I know who he is. And I was pulling for him, but I do like Joshua Charles, so I was happy to see him get the win. And shout out to Connor Cross. It looks like he injured his knee in the match, so if he really did injure his knee, my prayers are up for you, Connor, and you showed a hell of a showing in that match, and it's no wonder why you are one of the, why you are a future star in the wrestling business. Tough as nails dude, has great ring work, and if he really did injure his knee, I do send my well wishes to him. And so then later in the night, it was the main event. I'm sure I'm missing a match somewhere in here, but it's been a couple weeks ago, and I've finally just got around to making this video now. So actually, wait a minute. I forgot. I had the matches on my phone from my last video that I did. So, we gotta pull this up real quick. Yeah, shocker. No. I missed, how could I forget the Ballroom Blitz between Cage and the Dark Angel Ryan James. I mean, that was the show that kicked off the evening. It was an absolute banger. These guys beat the absolute tar out of each other, and it was a brutal match, and Cage was able to come away with the win and win the Ballroom Blitz mask for this year. So congrats to Cage for being the 2023 TWA Ballroom Blitz mask winner. And then we got to the main event. Vincent Cross versus Mr. Slamuel for the TWA Championship. Now, this match had some controversy. Referee Cameron got knocked down, and we saw the birth of a new faction in TWA called Dead Cell, which consists of manager Dr. Smiles, Vincent Cross, Michael Saint, and the Dark Angel Ryan James. So it was a back and forth match, and Slamuel had the win when referee Cameron came to, but Ryan James, it was either Ryan James or Michael Saint pulled the ref out of the ring. And, backtrack. So Michael Saint came out while referee Cameron was down and attacked Slamuel. Slamuel fought him off, and then Slamuel was able to connect with his unprettier finisher. I think he calls it something else, but it's an unprettier. And thought was going to fend off Vincent Cross, but then Ryan James came out and pulled referee Cameron out of the ring. And then all three, Michael Saint, Ryan James, and Vincent Cross, all beat up Slamuel. And Slamuel got driven onto a chair. Referee Cameron got thrown back in the ring, and Vincent Cross was able to get the 3 count to win the TWA Championship. And as I mentioned, the faction known as Dead Cell has made their arrival in TWA. And we haven't had a good faction since the Cold Hearted Alliance. So I'm really looking forward to what this faction brings to the table for TWA. But, I mean, I was sad to see my boy Samuel get screwed like that. But, Samuel will bounce back, But, so, for next month, for April 1st, the World Championship match will be the Rogue Joshua Charles taking on Vincent Cross at TWA Stormfront, April 1st. Bell time at 7 p.m. WrestleMania weekend. Don't miss it. Tickets are $10, so it's really cheap. And kids 5 and under get in for free, and then kids 7 to 12, it's it's $7. Actually, yeah, it's right here. So, don't miss that show. So, let's talk about the big boys. We'll start with AEW. Thank you, Tony Khan, for not making Jon Moxley bleed this week. I mean, I love good hardcore wrestling as much as the next guy, but dear Lord, why does Jon Moxley have to bleed every flippin' week? Like, it's crazy. So, but I do like that the Blackpool Combat Club is establishing themselves as heels. I think that would be a badass heel faction. And, I was going to address this, but it was addressed for me. Because the first episode of Ring of Honor aired, what was it? So, we'll be on the 3rd episode this weekend. My pizza just got done. And I was, going to address that, they still had Claudio as a babyface on Ring of Honor and, didn't have him as a heel because where they've been, kind of portraying him as a heel along with the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club, with the exception of Bryan Danielson in AEW. But thankfully, Wheeler and Claudio both were showing some heelish tactics. And Ring of Honor, Wheeler Yuta was able to retain his pure championship because in a pure Ring of Honor pure match, you get like one closed fist strike. Like you get a warning, and then if you do it again, you get disqualified and you lose your belt. Like if you're the champion. So Wheeler Yuta hit another closed fist. I wish I remembered who he... Oh, it was Timothy Thatcher. He got another closed fist while the ref wasn't looking. So I'm glad that they're bringing heel Blackpool Combat Club to Ring of Honor. You could say they're copying WWE with having 2 brands, like Ring of Honor being one and AEW bringing another one, but, I mean, they got all this talent. I mean, they got to be able to use them somehow, so I'm glad that they are bringing the heel Blackpool Combat Club to both shows. Well, technically 3 if you count Rampage, but that's part of AEW, so... like I said, I'm really glad that they're doing that, and I think Blackpool Combat Club as heels would be just absolutely amazing. Because the thing, I and other people feel is that AEW, as awesome as pro wrestling as they have, right, they lack stories. They don't have any long-term stories. So, I'm glad that they're starting to come up with more stories. And, like The Outsiders with Ruby Soho, Tony Storm and Saraya, fighting against Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel. That's a good story that could start. They're still doing the Hangman Mox story, which, I don't know. Truthfully, I think that kind of should have ended at Revolution, but then Moxley did tap to Hangman in that Texas death match, so, now they're bringing the Dark Order in, to back up Hangman, so. Which, no disrespect to the Dark Order, but I think that kind of just, it had its time, but, I think after Brody, tragically passed away, I think it just, I understand that they wanted to continue it in his honor, and they were baby faces for a while, but I think it's just kind of done its time, and, and these guys just need to go their own separate ways, and, because, Preston, he's with Andrade's faction. Well, I guess it's Rush's now, because Andrade hasn't been there. But, I don't know, I just think the Dark Order's just kind of had its time. And so, let's talk about WWE. They're still doing Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Oh, my Lord. Who in the hell wants to see that? I don't. The only reason they're pushing Omos is because he's big. He has no moveset. Now, if you would train him a little bit and put him down in NXT, yeah, the dude could be a friggin' badass, but, the dude's too green. He doesn't have any talent. It was good putting him with MVP because MVP can talk, but still, I don't know. Because there's been rumors going around all over social media that Brock's done after Mania. So if Brock does end up putting Omos over, I really respect him for that. And what else has been going on with WWE? Oh, the Rey Mysterio going into the Hall of Fame. See, I don't know if you guys, anybody that plays the WWE games, played the WWE 2K20 My Career Mode thing. I know that kind of had its, love-hate relationship with people. But, and I'm going to spoil it, so sorry, but, it brings up my point. If they bring, where Dominic's feuding with his father. So, in the My Career Mode story, the two characters retired and got in the Hall of Fame, and Samoa Joe and one of the other characters that was part of the story, attacked them during the Hall of Fame. So, if they did that with, Ray, had Dominic come out and ruin it, and, just help Dominic build heat, and their match at Mania, I think that would be awesome. But another thing I was going to say about that feud is you have Edge and Finn Balor fighting in Hell in a Cell, right? So do that night one, make the Judgment Day look strong. And then, Dominic tell Finn and Priest, hey, I got my dad. Don't help me. I want to do this alone. So Dominic beats Ray clean in the middle of the ring. And then Balor and Priest storm the ring and attack Ray. And then they tell Dominic to go get a chair. And then Dominic goes and gets it. And then when they're not looking, Dominic strikes him with a chair. And, reunites with his dad. So that's just kind of my opinion on how that story should go. And, Impact, they're building up for that multiverse thing with New Japan. Alexander and Kushida are going to fight for the World Championship. And I think that's going to be a good match. Two of the best wrestlers in the world. And, I like that. I got to throw up my two sleep. Bullet Club is the TNA Tag Team Champions. Chris Bay and Ace Austin are two of the best people on the roster. And, You know, I love the Guns, one of my favorite tag teams of all time, but you know, I'm glad that the Bullet Club, you know, has those belts, and you know, so I think Impact, you know, it's so underrated, and I don't think people give it enough of a chance. I mean, you know, if you have Access TV, you know, watch it Thursday nights at 8 p.m. or even subscribe to Impact Plus, and then you get all the monthly specials and can watch some old TNA highlights. So, uh, definitely give Impact a chance. It's really underrated. But, guys, I'm going to hop off here and go eat my pizza. So, just a quick video about wrestling. I may make another one, you know, here in a little bit, you know, talking about like some games and stuff like that. But I'm hungry, so I'm going to hop off here, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.